Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Clayton, but you can call me Clay, Claytiana, whatever you prefer. For today's video, I wanted to switch things up and look into a little bit of my beauty routine. So we're going to be looking at how I do my brows, my infamous, famous brows. I always get lots of compliments on like the shape. I don't know, I just thought I'd let you in on some secrets. It's definitely been a journey. The brow transformation is fucking real. Like, I was not always blessed with beautiful brows. As you can see, I really was not always blessed. Like, ooh, those shapes, they need some work. So thick, and not in a preferable way, you know? But, you know, we got there. I started with some work on the top, as you can see in these pics. Didn't really do the under bottom out, and then this is when I shaved too much off. Yeah, and this was me last year, so. But, you know, we got there, and you can too. Especially after the help of this video, your brows will be looking fire. So a few supplies I do recommend. First off being tweezers. Next up, just like a razor blade, and then a spoolie. I'm so dumb, I completely forgot one of the necessary items. So the last thing you'll need is some mini scissors. These are actually just, I think they're cuticle scissors. And lastly, you're just gonna want a mirror. So I have this one that opens up, works perfect, got it from Amazon, thank you. And yeah, I'm super excited. Brows are my favorite thing. So I usually start by brushing out the brows. I'm gonna brush spoolie, brush up. So I'm just gonna hold my mirror. We're gonna brush out and up. So this will help with creating a base and kind of allow you to figure out what the heck needs to be done to these brows. What is the state? So as I brush these bad boys out, I see that my sides, the end of my brows, are a little bushy, especially a little bit more bushy than the insides. And it also just allows me to get a good look without the hair going everywhere. So I also am observing lots of hair growing under the brow, which I don't want because I like to shape out the brows. So this is just helping me identify areas of the problem. So when you're doing your brows, it's really important to understand your brow shape and what brow shape you want to go for. So I particularly like get my brows kind of as straight as possible. I don't know if you can if you understand what I'm saying, but like I want the bottom to be as straight as possible until it goes into my arch. So the way I achieve that is with tweezers. Basically, after I brush out my brows and we get a good look at them and we analyze what needs to be done, I will go in and do some shaping. So again, I'm gonna grab my mirror and I'm gonna start in the center and then work my way from the bottom closest to my eye up to the actual eyebrow, just so that I'm not going all the way in and just like creating the harshest line ever. It just makes it more smooth and makes it more of a natural look. So one of the issues that I have with my eyebrows is I get lots of ingrowns, especially after I go in and tweeze and it grows back. So a lot of times I have to actually let my eyebrows grow out more than I would ideally like them to be, in order to make sure that I'm not picking at my skin when I'm going in with the tweezers, because we do not want that. We want to just be getting the hair, let the follicle do its own thing, let it mind its business. So at this point, I'm just moving in closer to the actual brow, because I've done my work in the middle for the most part. There are some baby ingrowns that, while I can see them, and they are annoying to me, I will not be going for them at this moment because they're too small to grab. So that's just a reality of having bushy brows that not a lot of people get to experience. While I do get compliments in how thick my brows are, people do not see the everyday maintenance that comes with having fucking thick ass brows. Because these bitches need to be chained frequently. So as I move closer to the thickest part of my eyebrow, I'm switching it over to the thinnest part of the tweezers just to really be able to separate the hairs that I want and make sure I'm not pulling out a big ass clump, because that would be terrible. Pro tip, if you're ever struggling to see any eyebrows or struggling to get the straightest line possible, my personal technique is to raise my eyebrows. Now this is gonna wrinkle your forehead, so bear with me for a minute. So I just like to go like this, and then I'll see how straight it is. And then that tells me if I need to adjust anything. Obviously, not gonna go around looking like this with my eyebrows, but just the way that they sit naturally on my face, this just allows me to actually see it and get underneath my brow bone. Just because these bitches are prominent. Alright, so just finishing up my work in the corner, because that's usually where they get the messiest and need the most care and attention to detail. Because again, one too many plucks and that can screw up your whole shape. So I would always recommend plucking less than you think initially, and then taking a step out of the mirror, analyzing the work you've done, and then going back in. So back in I go. And switch to the other side using my trick. Alright, so I finished under my brows. Pretty good shape at this point. I always think it's good to go from the bottom to the top of the brow, and not from the top to the bottom, just because I feel like the brows, you kind of want them to like lift your face a little bit. Especially my brows personally, I feel like they really are really close to my eyelids, so it's good to like lift them up. So I always like to go from the bottom to the top. Alright, so next up in the brow scene, I'm just gonna brush them in, because I'm gonna get ready to go in with the scissors. Alright, brows are brushed and beautiful, so I will be taking my scissors, and at the top of the brows, I will just be trimming them a little bit. They're honestly pretty good at the moment. So just some minor touch-ups that we will be doing. So I'm grabbing my mirror, get the hair out of the face so that you do not actually cut it off. And then I'm just gonna shape. So I'm just using the scissors to round this arch to make it a little bit more smooth. Any excess that just pokes out over, just cutting those shapes. So my brows like to play games with me, so they'll fall down, so I'm gonna have to brush them over and over again. Go back in with the scissors. And I think scissoring at the top really helps debush the brows. Kind of brings the volume down. Sweet, so that arch is looking pretty good, pretty happy with that. Actually, needs a little more work. So I just move the hair around a little bit. So if you like just move your eyebrows around, it kind of brings up different areas where there might be issues. So then you can go in and trim that too. Alright, so one side scissored, let's scissor the next. So to keep my brows as symmetrical as possible, I like to use my face as a guide. What I mean by that is lining up with my eyes, especially the arches, you can see there, and then there, and then again my little trick. You can kind of do this to see if they line up in the middle. Yeah, let's grab our spoolie and brush out the brow. And you can see the little hairs that hang over, and that is basically what I'm going to be trimming. Grabbing my mirror. Beauty. That was clean. Alright, again, gonna go in and just kind of fuck up the brow a little bit, see how the hair is moving. Go in again with this, it says. Alright, at this point the brows are really starting to come together. We've done some shape definition for our arches. The tools you're using and where you're using them are super important. I don't like to pluck the top anymore. I used to do that and I felt like that just really shrunk my brows down, really made the shape not cute, and I just like the boldness that comes from like the rectangle of that, if you try to see what I'm getting at there. But yeah, you just gotta follow your own brow shape. Don't pluck too much from the bottom. Again, my brows are super bushy. They used to go like literally all the way down to here. I will put in the brow transformation and you can take a look from yourself about how atrocious my brows used to be. So from the bottom and then just trimming the top. Going in with our last tool, the razor blade. Basically, you can get some shaving cream, some water, whatever you want. And basically what I do is just go in and just line up the brows. If there's any extra hair on the top of my brows, I don't really want that to be there, because it's just going to be distracting, and it just gives a less defined look. I don't know why I'm so British in this video. Basically, like, follow the outline of the top of my brow with this. This is not touching the bottom. And I also use this on the outer corner of the arch. And like I said, this is really just like a final touch. You're not gonna do a lot of work with this shit, because you don't want to shave your brows like that. Trust me. Because then when they grow back in, it's literally gonna be like the skin, but your eye. So not that cute, not that fun, and it just feels like a fucking hassle. Because the goal is always sharp as fuck, and it really just narrows down the brows. Let me see. Alright, I think I am all done with these brows. Touch-ups went pretty well. Now, I will give them a final brush through. And beautiful. Side view, side view. So overall, I really like to do most of my work with tweezers. I feel like that just gives me the most control, as you can just individually choose what hairs you're removing instead of like the action of scissors, which really just like condenses down the hair length, and the razor, which gets rid of it, but you don't have that kind of control. I find the razor is really just good for line work. As I said, the lines for your brows are important. Line them up with your eyes, your nose. Yeah, and make sure you don't got that unibrow. Unless that's the look you're going for, because that is in style. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and comment if you found any of these brow tips helpful. My brow game is always evolving. I feel like I'm always changing things up. I used to shave literally like from the top of it all the way down and pluck from the top. And I never even plucked beneath, but I just switched that up. So I think y'all needed an update to know what changed. Yeah, but I will see you in the next video, and goodbye.